Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome back to the Kings of Anglia Fan Social. Hope you all had a good weekend and are getting ready for a very exciting few weeks. The fixtures, the new kits, and of course, the pre-season schedule is out there. We know we'll be heading to Needham Market, West Ham at Portman Road, a trip to the Den against Millwall, and we're going to talk all things town in today's episode. We've got a debutant in Harry, good old Matt Makin's returning, and Ben De'Ath is joining us to discuss all things Blues. Let's get right into the man making his debut. He dropped into my DMs and said, I want to get involved, Ross. How would you get involved? Well, Harry, you are here. Welcome to the show. Let the listeners know who you are, how you became a town fan, and all that sort of stuff.
Hello. Thank you, Ross. Yeah, so I'm based in Bristol at the moment, but I've always been southwest based, so I feel like a little bit of a fraud. Born in Devon, North Devon, so right in the other side of the country. From a very incredibly young age, me and my brother were persuaded to be Ipswich fans by my dad, who was born in Felixstowe, lived in Ipswich for many years, sat on the touchline as a kid, watching all the good games and all the glory years, and then kindly had myself and my brother, and we've lived through quite a boring last 10-15 years, really. But I didn't think there was a better time to get involved and stop chewing my friends' ears off about Ipswich, about clubs that they don't care about, apparently. It'd be great to come in to talk to like-minded people, Ipswich fans, about how good and exciting this upcoming season is going to be. So look forward to it.
Yes, mate, it's great to have you on. And just do what Harry did. Basically, drop me a DM on Twitter or wherever you want to message me at Rossman in the UK and get involved. We want more voices heard throughout this season. A very exciting season, of course, fourth year in League One, but hopefully it's a successful one. I'm going to go over to good old Matt Maker next, who we've been battling on the five-a-side pitches, our goals. Matt, me and you have been the team captains, getting the pitch booked, making sure everyone's turning up for the five-a-side. Was 10 of us, of course. But Matt, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Glad to be back. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. We've done 2 KOA socials and five-a-side socials. We've got another one. I'm feeling good. 8 goals and 2 appearances. I think five-a-side is definitely my preferred size of pitch. I can never score when I play seven-a-side on a Thursday night. So, yeah, I might try and convince them to switch the numbers down. But, yeah, no, pleased to be back and sort of have a chat about what's coming up with the pre-season and the exciting times ahead. A big shout out for Stu's debut at five-a-side last week as well. He was great, and also, and I feel this is going to lead into Ben's introduction, but there is somebody in this episode who has got an absolute cannon of a foot on them, and it's not me, and it's not Ross.
No, but yes, good old Ben De'Ath is joining us. Ben, welcome back to the show. You've been on your travels. You've been to Chicago watching many sports and at a stag, good old stag, a lot of beers down you. But how are you, mate? And you were joining us for the first five-a-side session, and you did score some absolute belters. You carried our team. Of course, Heathy had to go in goal because he broke his knee or hurt his knee. But yeah, that was good fun. But how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for the introduction between you and Matt. Very kind. It was, excellent joining everybody for the five-side. Great atmosphere. Everybody, I think, was blowing out of their proverbial quite quickly, trying their hardest to impress each other. It was, really interesting evening, and just as good to have a couple of drinks after and always socialise with, like Harry said, like-minded Ipswich fans. Just about recovered from Chicago, a 5-day stag trip, which definitely took everything out of me. Felt pretty empty coming back at the beginning of this week, and then we had the beginning of last week. Then we had the wedding for said stag at the weekend. So, but feeling good, ready to go. Looking forward to talk about town, and looking forward now to the friendlies, the kits, fixtures, everything. Can't wait.
Let's get into it then. So, the off-season is still here, but there's a lot of things coming out there. And, of course, the pre-season schedule dropped last week. And I thought, why don't we talk about it and get your thoughts on pre-season as a whole? Do you care? Are you interested in it? Are you going to go to any of the games? Let's bring up the pre-season schedule then, boys. So here we go. So June 25th. Yeah, you are reading that right and you're hearing that right. We've got a pre-season friendly on June 25th, which is just madness. Needham Market away. That'll be an interesting one. Maybe... what team will it be? What team will play? You never know. Then July 12th, my birthday. Just let a little plug there. West Ham at home at Portman Road. Then July 16th. We'll put June 16th. Ignore that. Bit of watching. AFC Women away. Of course, it's a double header. Of course, the women's team will also be there as well, which is going to be a great occasion for everyone. Then we've got July 23rd, Millwall away at the Den, as I mentioned. then we end pre-season with a home game against Southend, the mighty Southend of National League. So there's the fixtures. Harry, your thoughts on the fixtures as a whole, and do you care about them?
Yeah, so two good testers in there. It's nice to see West Ham coming to Portman Road. I think we had that a while. I think we beat them last time they came down, didn't they? But there's lots of nice fixtures in there. Millwall away is always one that I will try to get to and enjoy going to. I took a good friend who supports Forest along when we won 4-3. I can't remember who scored the last winner, but it was in the 93rd minute. I remember getting it on video. Yeah, great games. In general, my short answer would be not so much, really. It's obviously all about getting players on the grass, having time together to gel and stuff. This year, definitely more so. I'd say there's a clear gap between the abilities of a manager like McKenna, who just I think we're all thrilled to have, to be honest. It's a breath of fresh air. Compared to someone like Lambert, I would have loved to be a pre-season Lambert, see what they've been doing, because I watched them. We've all watched them for multiple games in a row, having no shots on target. So I'd love to see what they were working on, compared to someone like McKenna, who came in straight away with a squad that wasn't even his, and you could see the impact he had straight away with how he plays and stuff. So time in the grass is obviously huge. And you can see how his influence on the way we play. One thing I did notice earlier in the week, I listened to another podcast, football podcast, Guardian Weekly, was Nedum Onuoha, the old Man City and QPR player, was talking about pre-season and just about the evolution of the game and how back in the day players used to have numerous weeks off, go on like jogs, and then when they come back to pre-season they would treat it as actually getting fit. Whereas these days, he said, it's nothing like that anymore. The young pros, we all know players like the bigger pros, Bellingham, Rice, they don't drink anymore. They're very much professionals now, and I think it's a shorter break. Our first game there is on the 25th of June, which I think is just mad. That's 2 weeks away. Like it's not much of a break, is it? I feel like McKenna, coming from a professional background at United, will want to get everyone back in up to speed, and absolutely no chance of failure of getting promotion next year. So hopefully that's what happened. And he also said, just to briefly touch on before I stop myself waffling, is that apparently the sports science teams at QPR, and I'm sure that other clubs do this, took their body percentage out on the last day of the season, and they said you cannot come more than 1% more body fat that when you arrive for pre-season. So whether we've got some strict things in place, I don't envy the players. That's not a way to enjoy the only time you have off for a holiday. But yeah, no, I look forward to them. It's good time to get minutes on the pitch, working together, especially with the new signings, and hopefully put some good step for next season.
Indeed, yeah, the bleep test. Get ready, boys. Get ready, the players. Having to do that. But yeah, Matt, as Harry said, it is time just to get the players back on the grass, get their fitness up. The games aren't, they're not competitive fixtures. They are friendlies, as they are called. So they're not. You never look for a competitive game. Although there's some friendlies I've watched sometimes, and some players getting into tackles and thinking, "What are you doing?" But what's your thoughts on it and the schedule itself? It's a change. We mentioned this on the main pod. We've got West Ham, and then we sort of go down the leagues a little bit. We go to play against a League Two team, then a Championship team, the end with a National League team. So before we had West Ham and Millwall last season. No, we didn't have Millwall. Who do we have? West Ham and Crystal Palace. No, Crystal Palace and Millwall. Yeah, I'm waffling now. Matt, take it away.
I'm glad to. Yeah, I'm very similar in Harry, that I've never normally been quite fussed about pre-season. It is, as you say, time on the grass. On a great title of Bobby Robson's first autobiography as well, which is on the shelf behind me. So actually, I think it's beyond my football shirt, to be honest. But I'm actually a little bit more intrigued about it this season than I have been previous seasons. And that is because of Kieran McKenna and this sort of more, well, I say modern approach. We seem to be finally catching up with the rest of the footballing world, really, because from what you hear about last year's pre-season, really, was Paul Cook had them running, and then when they'd done that, they did a little bit more running, and it was very much going back to what Harry said about the evolution of pre-season. It sounds like Paul Cook was hadn't evolved in that sense. Whereas obviously Kieran McKenna's taken him to Loughborough for pre-season training. There's going to be more sports science to it. The sort of thing Paul Hurst tried to do and failed, same as with everything else in his short tenure at the club. So I'm actually, normally I don't bother with games. I was kind of half tempted last summer because obviously we'd not been able to go to games previous season. My sole outing was when we were allowed into the Burton game, which was, we won and it was great to be back in the ground, but it was wet, it was horrible. There was only 2,000 of us, so I know that sort of like a lot of people went to that Dartford game just because I can watch town again. The government have said I can actually go to a football game, but this year I'm interested to sort of see how pre-season training's gone with these friendlies. I like that Needham Market are on there. Market men. I think that's Needham Market's one of Liam's about 50 clubs or something, I think, isn't it? So I don't know if he's had a word with Kieran McKenna and said get him up to play the Market men, but that's a nice little one. Go away to a non-league ground. My dad's a bit of a casual West Ham fan, so I've already said I'll take him to that one. What I'm really excited about, though, and Ross, this will come as no surprise to you that I'm really excited about this because I think I messaged you when it came out, was the double header for Wimbledon. Because one, I didn't get a chance to go to Plough Lane last season because it got moved to a Tuesday night because Wimbledon had the absolute gall to go further in the FA Cup, and I couldn't do that Tuesday night because of work. So I missed out on Plough Lane, and of course, Wimbledon got relegated to League Two at the end of last season. So one, it's another opportunity for me to get to the new Plough Lane, and two, the fact that it's a double header with the women's team, I think, is really exciting. Obviously, we had that last season in the leagues with the Argyle games, and hopefully we'll see that more. But yeah, don't know if I'm going to bother with Millwall away. I've been to the Den. In fact, I went to the Den in 18-19 when Paul Lambert was in the stands. It was a terrible game, and there was all that confusion around the Remembrance silence in late October rather than November, and fans coming in late and not realising they were interrupting Armistice silence. So don't know if I'm bothered about Millwall, and probably get to Southampton. But yeah, I'm actually going to try and get to sort of probably. I think, like I said, Millwall's probably the only one I'm not actually going to go to. So I'm just really interested. We should have, hopefully, if we carry on with sort of the positive progress, and hopefully we'll hear about some more signings this week, and just sort of see those new players and just see what a modern pre-season with a modern forward-thinking manager is like. Because I'll be honest, we've not had that in quite a while, have we?
No, we haven't. We haven't indeed, and that's a nice little segue to you, Ben. Really, to talk about. We've got a squad really who are probably going to be ready for pre-season. We've signed 2 players already. Hopefully, more to come. But we're not going to be like Paul Cook sort of team where he had to rebuild it all. And there's still players coming through when the season started. But now we've got pretty much a core of a squad who are there. Walton will have a proper first pre-season. George Emerson will. Connor Chaplin. There's going to be a lot who are going to be here already in the building, ready to do the bleep test and all that sort of stuff, and then be ready for it. But your thoughts on pre-season as a whole, my friend?
Yeah, I think Morsey, someone you didn't mention there, again as captain.
How can I forget Sam Morsey? Sorry, Sam.
To get hold of, I'll private message you again and tell you off for not having faithfulness. He will be able to get the squad by the scruff of the neck and show them all standards they expect for the rest of the season. Like Harry and Matt have said, it will be interesting. It will be different, a different approach from McKenna. I think everybody's liked what they've seen so far. I think you'd be quite unpopular if you didn't say what you liked from him. And we're certainly I've got full faith we're going in the right direction. So I'm keen to see how we do. Pre-season's always, I absolutely adore football. I've got my season ticket again. I live and breathe football. My wife will just tell me all the time that I won't shut up about it. The only benefit of living with me is that people just can't help but soak up more football information. So she's quite popular at school because she can sort of relate to the girls and the boys because she can talk football, just because she hears me rattling on about it. But I do like the break. I do sort of, it separates and means that thirst for coming back in the new season is sort of is there, sort of more hungry and ready to go. So I might go to West Ham just because I've got a few friends already who've sort of messaged me who are West Ham fans, and I might bring them along and we'll sit there and maybe have a beer before the game. That'll be a good one to do. But Wimbledon's on a Saturday. Saturdays, I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to do a Saturday, but that also stands out. As Matt said, I think it's great for the club to have a double header. It's absolutely brilliant for the women's team. More exposure to maybe more of the fan base they wouldn't otherwise get. Plough Lane obviously is a really nice little ground. I was lucky to go last year, and you can make a real day of it. Millwall's a possibility because I think that will be our main test, and that will be as close as we see possibly to the starting 11 on the a week away, isn't it, from the start of the season? So yeah, West Ham, I think, is quite early doors. I don't know what we can expect from our team there. But when we get round to Millwall away, I think that's another one I might try and go to, just because it might feel like closer to a league fixture. Southend, again, I think it will just be all about maybe someone like Wes Burns might get a few more minutes because he's been with Wales and they won't start him in the first few games. Someone like that, but I'd have thought we won't be anything like full strength for the Southend game. So really interesting, as you said, Ross, the way they've done it, sort of tapering off probably with Southend. No disrespect to them, but you quite often have your main friendly. But back in the day, I remember we used to have, we were meant to get Lazio again, weren't we? We had some other big clubs at Portman Road just before the season started, but this time we've got Southend, and that's absolutely fine.
That's fine. Don't mind that at all. And of course, I think there's one day we could be doing the Arizona tour, because of the owners and stuff. I'm sure that's booked in one year, and I think that would be exciting for a lot of town fans if they want to go to Arizona. And
I will take pre-season seriously if that happens, Ross.
Yes. Definitely. But I'm putting that on the record now. Definitely, anyone will take that seriously because everyone wants to go to Arizona. Or I went to Germany in 2019. When Paul Lambert's first, pre-season, that was really good fun. Playing against some German teams and just being in Germany, and a lot of beer and food was consumed.
Did he play in Germany, Lambert?
I don't think he ever mentioned it, Ben.
Can't remember.
No.
Beep, 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 beep. Yes. There we go. Well, there we go. Pre-season is nearly up and running. As I said, it's only a few weeks away. It's crazy to think that pre-season is going to be here and games will be played again. So let's get right into something that dropped last week about 5 subs. So the EFL have changed some regulations, and Harry, 5 subs can now be used in league matches. What's your thoughts on this, my friend?
I would say for bigger clubs, I think it's an advantage, isn't it? We saw it coming in the Premier League, and you had some of the clubs at the bottom of the Premier League probably quite fearing that teams like Man City can bring on Sterling, Mahrez, Grealish, Foden, whoever they want. 5 of them, it makes a big difference. There's a couple of different aspects to look at. I think from that point of view, Ipswich, we have a squad which nearly all clubs in League One would desire, and even looking at the bench last year, we had so many good names on it coming off the bench. Sonny Aluko, Chaplin, Selina, whoever wasn't playing. The strength of depth is obviously something which plays to us. So having more subs can help, and also the next thing obviously would be hopefully would help with reduction of injuries, and there's so many games that players have to play at the moment, isn't there? There's 46 league games plus all the cup games. Not that we ever stay in the cup. Hopefully that changes this year. But when you're playing 50 games a year, sometimes that can plus four training sessions roughly a week, and sometimes you're playing twice a week. Obviously the injuries come, so it could help with injuries if you're able to rotate players more. And help with player fatigue, maybe. People like Burns or Jackson, you get these sort of muscle injuries which come in, which are a bit of a nightmare. So it could definitely help with that. And the other thing which I would say would be that it helps bring the youngsters through. I really don't want to see Humphreys leave on loan personally after Kieran Dyer saying he's the second best midfielder in the squad. I want to keep him in there, and a rule like this could really help him. He came on for 15 minutes in the last game against Charlton. He did a great assist to Norwood, which was obviously Norwood's last ever kick of a ball for Ipswich, so it's sort of the spotlight on him. But it was a great assist, and I don't think you can ever have a lack of players in midfield there that could come on for a bit and provide that key pass. So I think people like him and Daba, obviously, if we kept him, it's just having those youth players. If you can keep them around, perhaps bring them into the side. They're clearly good enough. They've been touted by people like Kieran Dyer, or they've had wonderful seasons away like at Salford. So yeah, could be good, could be bad. It doesn't really affect us that much, but hopefully it would help a squad like Ipswich's in the coming season, having those more subs.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, it helps the bigger clubs who've got bigger squads, and some players who are not happy they're not playing, but there's got opportunity to come on the pitch for the last 10 minutes or so. And Matt, I don't know who said it in our group chat, but someone said about if this was Mick McCarthy, he'll still probably bring on 4 defensive-minded players, and he'll still have Selina or whoever's, a creative player on our bench, you still won't play them. But Matt, what's your thoughts on this, my friend?
I was gutted it wasn't me that got in with that gag first. To be fair, because it's one of those. It's funny because it's true. He probably would have done, but yeah, I'm probably in a similar boat to Harry. Really, it is more advantageous to sides with bigger squads. We saw it. I mean, we saw it right down to our level, obviously, with the rule changes during sort of season before last. Now with COVID and everything, it looks like they're limiting it. It's 5, but 3 opportunities during the game, so you can't have sort of 5 lots of switches, which I suppose helps. Interestingly, though, actually sort of reading into it, slightly different to last time. I think halftime subs don't count towards the 3, so that'll be interesting. And I think similar to what Harry said, the game is faster and more athletic now, and we've not been alone in how many sort of muscle-related injuries have we seen in our players in recent years. And the fact if you can make more substitutions during a game, it's going to help prevent that as well, particularly at this level where you've got 46 league games plus the League Cup, the FA Cup, and you're going into the FA Cup in the first round. You've got the Pizza Trophy as well, and hopefully we'll actually have a decent cup run in at least one tournament. So yeah, I mean, it's here, it's happening. It will just be interesting to see. I think there is a benefit to get fringe players in. I'm not sure I entirely agree. I probably prefer to see Humphreys get more minutes than we could offer, even with 5 subs. So I wouldn't be devastated if he went out on loan. I thought he was very good when he came on against Charlton. And I just think, as much as I'd love to see us sort of develop young players using the additional subs, we've really got to get our League One this season. And can we be forward? I think it's maybe built around sort of Indaba being one of those players, but I'd like to see potentially, or not. I'd like to see. I think it'd be best for players like Humphreys and Elkan Baggett as well. Perhaps maybe to do similar to what Indaba did. Going out to Salford and getting those minutes, because again Baggett played against Charlton and I thought he was very good in the same way I thought he was very good against Rotherham, but in both of those games there was a couple of moments he had where inexperience showed through, and I think particularly Charlton went through and crashed one off the crossbar in the second half at 3-0, and Baggett effectively lost his man. And I thought, on another day we'd have been punished for that, so perhaps he needs a little bit more time on the pitch. But hopefully, like I say, we can get better rotation through with additional subs, and we can keep the injury numbers down, because it's going to be a slog of a campaign. I know Sunderland have gone up, but you've got Derby coming down, and if they still exist in the next week or so, they could potentially be a threat. There's still other teams in there that were up there and thereabouts that are going to want to have another go again. So it probably, on balance, and I'll stop waffling now, I think it's probably going to be a good thing. But that's us, where we've probably got a squad where we can take advantage of that full change.
I think so too, Ben. And what do you think then, Ben, on this 5 subs? I have a feeling Kieran McKenna won't always use all 5. I think he'll use them tactically well, and I think there'll be times where probably don't need to even make a few subs, maybe 1 or 2 here and there, but not all 5 at once. I don't think it's going to be every game we're going to see 5 players come on in those 3 different time scales. But what's your thoughts on all this?
I don't like it at all. In terms of when you're looking at the Premier League clubs, they've already got advantages over, particularly those top 6, top 7, the Champions League. Yeah, they've got so much money coming through. It may suit us in League One because we've got because we do have a squad of players. Harry alluded to it straight away. We've got a squad that I think most clubs would be jealous of. So it is advantageous to us, Ipswich Town. I was talking to a few Cambridge United fans who we had a good debate about it. They don't like it either. They think it's a smaller club, with a smaller squad in League One. It won't help them. I sort of made the point that it might help in games because we saw it so evident in Portman Road. Might help teams with time wasting even more. It gives them that option to, if there is an injury, they still have another opportunity to bring in another couple of subs, slow the game down. So there is a slight, maybe a slight thing that people haven't thought about there. But overall, I think 3 subs is enough. Yes, the game is completely different now. Yes, you have to look after your players, but as much of the game is faster and everybody's fitter, there's still those medical science people. There's still recovery is so much better, and managers are always going to find something to moan about. We've got 5 subs now. Your Klopps, Guardiolas, etc. They'll find something else to moan about next season, without a doubt, and then it'll be the next thing, and whether we change that. So, Ross, to answer your question, I don't like it, but it may benefit Ipswich this year. But I hope we don't use them. Like you said, I hope McKenna doesn't use them. Three's enough.
I think so too. Right then, boys. Some serious chat there. It's time to have a bit more silly stuff, and it is time for the strike. The main feature of the fan social sometimes is competitive natures comes in. Harry making his debut on the strike. Matt Makin and Ben De'Ath have had many head-to-heads and have had to battle their wits on their town knowledge. So let's see how the 3 get on. So then, boys, we've got 4 questions plus a tiebreaker if needed. And basically, it's just birthdays. Players who are going to be having their birthday this week, who's got their birthday today. So let's get right into it then. And a tiebreaker, if needed, we'll use it. We'll know we will. One of you have got to gamble, because if you don't gamble, then you're boring. So you've always got to use a tiebreaker. So the first question is on Chris Bart Williams. Remember him back in the 2000s? Now, what shirt number did he wear during his time at Town? Was it 16, 23, or 28? Chris Bart Williams was on loan back then. What do you reckon? I think he was on loan from Nottingham Forest at the time. And then I think he's now in America doing coaching. So yeah, he's living the life in, I think it's Florida or something like that. Let me just double check. Yeah, he's in Miami, living the life in the sun. Anyway, enough of that. Chris Bart Williams, what do you reckon, boys?
I've gone. You say that
23.
23.
And Ben De'Ath, you are wrong, my friend. It is 23. So there, Harry is off the mark, as well as Matt.
It was a guess.
I was getting worried. Ben said, that was the same for me. I was getting worried. Ben said that with such confidence. I thought, he knows it. He knows it.
I was thinking actually, Chris Bart Williams, very good quiz game. We played a quiz game on this stag do, double barreled Premier League players. Of course, he was one. It's quite a lot.
Love that.
Good game.
Yeah, good game. That's a really good game. Could bring that. I don't know how many double barreled names we had at Town.
Not many Town ones, I think.
No, I don't think so. We won't get into it in this episode. We can do it in the future, though. Question 2.
Rio Coca. That was an old one. Sorry, carry on.
God. Oh.
Old.
Yeah.
And average.
Yeah, and a very bad player. For Town, he was a bad player back in the day, with Aston Villa or not. But anyway, next question is on Dean Bowditch. He also celebrates his birthday this week. Now, how many goals did he score for Town in 83 games? Of course, his debut was pretty good. He didn't score in his debut, but got that assist against Norwich, and when we beat Norwich as well, when we could beat Norwich. Won't say any more about that. But Dean Bowditch
against Watford?
Yeah, Watford, the youngest ever hat-trick goal scorer.
Against future Premier League winning Pidgley, wasn't it, in goal for Watford, I think, that day? And he went on to be Chelsea's 3rd goalkeeper when Mourinho won the league. I'm pretty sure he won the Premier League. Yeah. Anyway, useless facts. Let's answer the question.
Yeah. That's what we do on a strike. Useless facts, but they could come in handy. You never know one day. But let's like this question. How many goals did Dean Bowditch score in this many games? Like, when will you ever use that? But you never know, boys.
Absolute. I've got an absolute punt here. I've got no idea. I'm guessing at, you see that, 19.
19, okay.
I've gone 29. Probably too high.
29.
I've gone for 28.
28. Ooh.
Oh.
Now, of course,
low now.
if you got it bang on, of course, you get double the points. But closest to the correct answer, and the closest is Matt Makin, because it's actually only 9 goals.
9
goals in 83 games. So, yeah.
9. You got 3 at one game. 9 goals.
It's me worrying I've gone too low. I didn't go low enough.
Gillingham. I can remember 5 of them just like that. Bloody hell.
He didn't score many after that, my friend. Yeah, he wasn't prolific. So yeah,
God, I tell you, we really hold him in quite high stead, don't we? He was crap. 9 goals in 83 games.
Yeah, it's not a great ratio, but only 83 games as well. But Matt gets the point, so it is 2-1. Next question is on Alan Brazil. He actually celebrates his birthday on the same day as Dean Bowditch. Now, I like this question. This is what I sent you, Ben. I was really happy with this question. Now, while he was at Town, he had a loan spell in America back in the day at the Northern American Soccer League, which is defunct now, in 1978. But for which team? Detroit Express, Chicago Sting, or Minnesota Kicks? And all these teams don't exist anymore because they all got, back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, they all just went didn't they? Because they all went bankrupt or whatever. But so there you go. Detroit Express, Chicago Sting, or Minnesota Kicks. So before Alan Brazil became Alan Brazil, we went out on loan in 1978. Of course, when we went on to win the FA Cup, he was out on loan in America. What do you reckon, boys? So Matt needs to get this right, and he wins the whole damn thing. Harry needs to get it right to get it to the next question. Ben just needs to get a point just to get back in the game.
To save myself an embarrassment.
Yeah.
I'm going to go another punt. Minnesota Kicks.
Okay. You all got it wrong. It's actually Detroit Express.
No idea.
That is a good question, Ross. Well done.
I was happy with that.
You should ask Heafy for a pay rise.
Wow. I'm sure he's listening. Hi, Heafy. What do you reckon? Good question for the strike. I'll add more good questions in the long run. Okay, then. So the final question, a chance for Harry to get into this. And Ben, it's just once again, now it's not bang on. It's actually a multiple choice, so you can't, unfortunately. But still play, Ben. It's fine. But Harry, if you get this right and Matt gets it wrong, then we are going to go to a tiebreaker. But if you get it wrong, we'll still have a tiebreaker, won't we, Matt? If you do win overall, you'll gamble. You'll gamble. You will. So the next question is, pretty much. The next question is on Alan Quinn. He celebrates his birthday this week, and of course the very interesting podcast I did with him back in the day for Ross Meets, which of course got deleted for obvious reasons. I won't get into that. But what shirt number did he wear during his time at town? Was it 12, 20, or 25? This is a chance. Oh, Matt's really writing down. Oh, no. Oh, he's a little think. Can Harry come back and steal this to take us to the tiebreaker?
Don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I've gone 25.
I've gone 25.
Yeah, I also think it's 25. I've just not written it down quick enough.
It's the only one that rang a bell.
It is 25.
Yeah.
So Matt has won overall 3-2, and Ben gets a point at the end there. Well done, Ben. Always good. So there we go. 3, 2, 1. Now, Matt. What do you reckon? Gamble?
Well, I'm never going to hear the end of it if I don't. So, yeah, go on. I'll gamble.
Okay. Now, we're playing West Ham in pre-season. So how many times has Town won against West Ham in 68 games? Now, Harry and Ben, if you get it bang on, you win. But if you don't, Matt wins overall. So let's see then. West Ham, of course, those playoff games, the 2 back-to-back playoff games, losing, and still hurts for us younger listeners out there who saw a team get in the playoffs. Of course, we got in the playoffs 2014-15, but those back-to-back playoff seasons were always good because we scored loads of goals under Joe Roll. But West Ham, of course, we played West Ham a lot in the 70s, I think, and the 80s and all that stuff. Played, of course, a few times in the championship because when they got relegated a few times. Still remember was it a 5? Was it 5-1?
5-1, J. Emmanuel Thomas on 5.
That was it,
nice.
5-1, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the Lee Bowyer last-minute winner at Upton Park as well.
That 5-1 was very interesting because, like I said, my dad's a bit of a casual West Ham fan. He was, I was in the, I didn't have a season ticket that year. I can't remember why, but I was. Did I have a season ticket? And I moved stand. I can't remember. Anyway, I ended up in the Upper Churchman's. He used to sit in the lower north, and him and a couple of West Ham mates had smuggled themselves into the home end at the West. In the West End, and I've been to the pub with them beforehand, and I was going, "Oh my God, it's not going to be great." We weren't in great form going into that game, and West Ham were top of the league, I think, weren't they? And it was only my dad's mate, born and bred West Ham fan, going, "Oh, I don't know, we've got a Rick in us, and all this." And obviously, it went mad, and my dad's battery ran out at half time. So when he eventually got back to Felixstowe and plugged his phone in charge, I had all these mock abusive messages from his son. I still don't let him forget it now.
No, definitely not. I know they've had that great run in Europa League this year, or the season just gone, but we always remember that game. But then, boys, 68 games. Matt, we'll start with you first. If you get a bang on, then you get double points anyway. But what have you gone for, my friend?
I've gone 26.
Okay.
I've gone really low, actually. I've gone 19. I think we've had a bad run against them.
I completely agree. I've gone slightly negative, given it 68 games. I also went for 19, just so I'm not.
That's weird.
That'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
that is, yeah, it's
I
weird.
haven't got another tiebreaker, guys. I'm happy that you haven't got it bang on because I haven't got another tiebreaker. Matt, I saw you scribbled out a number before you put your number.
I went 17, and then I thought that was too low.
Okay.
But now I'm starting to think maybe, given Harry and Ben's thinking, I'm thinking maybe I should have gone with me original answer. Or
Well,
not, because if they haven't got it bang on, I'm still all right.
they haven't got a bang on thankfully because they haven't got a tiebreaker. So it's 21. So you boys are close.
Oh, that's close.
Very close indeed. So, well, Matt,
That's
you're fine,
my
friend.
first strike victory. That is. I'll make a note in the diary.
Yes, my friend. 13th of June, 2022, 8:30 on the clock. You've won your first strike.
Exactly. You bring me a little trophy on Wednesday before we play football, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll let you have an open goal. You can score the first goal. Everyone has to stop. They can't move. You just walk it in. Boom. There we go. Actually, you don't need it anyway. As you said, you scored 8 goals in 2 matches so far, so happy days. Although, Matt, we haven't been on the same team yet. So we've got to make that a rule on Wednesday.
Yes.
We're on the same team.
Definitely.
So, we've had a few tussles, though, haven't we, me and you? We've had a few tussles.
Absolutely. He likes to leave that Roscoe. He likes to leave a shoulder in.
Yeah. Yes, that's the only thing I can do because I can't win the ball normally because I've got no strength. But there we go then, boys. Another strike done in the books. Harry, how was your first experience of the strike?
Yeah, it's great. It's lovely. As I said at the start, I've spent over a decade or more speaking to friends who all support the Chelsea's, United's, Liverpool's, and they always switch off when I talk to them about Ipswich. So it's nice just to get on and have an outlet to speak about probably the most positive time of supporting them in a long time. So yeah, absolutely great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure, my friend. Oh well, we're not finished yet, mate. We're not finished yet.
No,
remember,
sorry.
remember
I thought that was the sort of thanks for having us. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week. No, we've got one more feature to cover, and it's about the kits. The new kits are hopefully out soon, and it's always good to talk about your favourite kits in it, lads. The home, the aways. You can also mention a goalkeeper kit if you want as well, if you're a keen goalie. But Harry, over to you then. As you said, you're 29 years of age. Sorry to bring your age in, but
absolutely fine.
You've had a different range of kits. What has been your favourite, home or away?
I'm not going to bring in a goalkeeper shirt. I know Andy Warren loves this goalkeeper shirt, so I'm normally focused on the normal outfield shirt. So I really like the Green King. I was going to try and get a picture of me when I was a toddler with my brother, and we had the Green King kits from about 96 to I think it was the 96, 97 sort of season. So I really love those ones.
Has Matt got it?
Yeah,
Matt's got it there.
That's it. Yeah. That's one of them. Yeah, I love that era when Green King was on the front. And the one I've got here to display, my friend got me as a present, 1993, the year I was born, which is the old Fissons that way. But the badge is massive, and my cat chews on these, as you can see. So it doesn't come out very often because the cat loves it. And then, should I go to away kit, or are we doing everyone home first? Away kit, yeah. I always like the old orange away kits, which are good, but I have to give a shout out to the old white and black from this year. And as I said, yeah, thanks for having me on. I think I've got some good shouts to bring to the table. Hopefully, it's some ideas to have, but I do also have some terrible shouts, including this one.
What's Scotty Fraser?
What's 60 quid for half a season? No refunds, but a bit frustrating. I was going to go for Bond, so that would have been a full season before I got rid of it, but there you go. But yeah, I love the black. The white kit was special this year, wasn't it? We always seemed to play well in it and watch them Fratton Park and lots of different away games where they play really well. So yeah, those are probably my favourites. Yeah,
I like that. And for the viewers watching, for the listeners, listening, and you weren't able to see what it was showing. One of them was the laces, the classic 90s, the first Premier League season, the laces. Everyone loves that. And you've got an original as well because it has Umbro on it. A lot of people got the remake in it, and the remakes don't have the Umbro on it. So that is
there you go.
Original.
Oh, it's a lovely gift. It really is. Yeah, no, it's a nice one. And then the other one was this year's white kit with Scott Fraser on the back. Terrible purchase. Never mind.
Yeah. To be fair, we were all excited. I was excited when we signed Scott Fraser, but unfortunately his start wasn't great because he missed the penalty. Although he scored in his debut against Morecambe, and then when he returned to Burton, he then missed the penalty and we lost that game.
Also played on the wing by Paul Cook nearly every game when he's a number 10, which I found frustrating. I know we had lots of number 10s, so I understand why I had to sort of move it around, but he's slow, and his best thing is sort of ball control and finding those key passes, and didn't really work, did it? But yeah, pretty heartbreaking. When Ben's camera came up at the start, I saw his Wes Burns shirt, and I thought, make a good decision. Not like me. Never mind. Next year, or well, we'll see what the new kit when it comes out. I have to make a wise decision this time.
Yeah, don't rush it. Maybe wait a few months and then decide to put a name
January
and number
transfer
on there.
window.
Yeah, probably best, probably wise. Okay then, Matt, over to you. You are a keen kit man. You always do. What's it called? Friday Kit Friday. What's it called?
Football Shirt Friday. Yeah,
That's the one.
That was a lockdown thing. It was certainly there is the charity thing, Football Shirt Friday, but I'm going to say I probably shouldn't mention sort of crossing the divide between podcasts. But I think Rich Woodward from Blue Monday, friend of the KOA and fellow curry eater at the end of last season.
Yeah, he gate crashed our party, didn't he? No, I'm joking.
He did. No, he was invited. Honestly, he did call ahead. And he started that during lockdown, and I've just kind of kept it going. Really, I just like when if I'm working from home, or even if I'm in the office, I try and put a football shirt on Friday and a little bit of vanity, put it on social media. So, unfortunately, unlike Rich, I have most of mine are the old retro ones are replicas and not originals. But obviously, I've got the two behind me that I've picked out. It was a difficult one because it's just so many, and like the red laces one that Harry put up just now, I've got that in replica without the red laces at the moment because they came out and blocked up the washing machine and led to me having to manually. It got caught in the filter. It shredded. Part of it got caught in the filter, and I had to then manually drain the machine and unclog the filter. So I haven't found red laces to replace it in the replica. But I had that one as my first ever shirt. It was a second-hand shirt donated to me when I first started following town. And I wish I still had it. I don't know what happened to it in the end. Obviously, it would fit me now because I was only about 9, 10 when I had it. But
you can have my laces if you want. You can have my laces if you want, Matt. My cats will see them. It's a nightmare. Can't even get it out. Honestly, starts chewing them.
I don't know if I'm allowed anymore because I don't know if Mrs. M will let me have it anymore in case it completely knackers the washing machine next time. But yeah, so I went obviously the one sort of behind me there. Obviously, I went the 97-99 Green King shirt. I almost picked the Green King shirt, the promotion shirt. I've got the replica playoff final one, but there's just something about this one. There's something, and I know a lot of people don't like it. There's something I like a badge in the middle sometimes, and I like this one. I like the sleeves. I particularly like the strip with the Suffolk punches down each side of the sleeve, and so when that came out as a replica last season, and I think I bought into it. Macaulay Bonne was in his pomp at that stage, and they had him. He stood in front of the Churchlands model, and I've got to have it. And yeah, that's probably for me growing up, child in the 90s. That's my favourite shirt. We were competitive season on season wearing that shirt. Getting into the playoffs, not doing so well. Sort of the first 3 editions of the playoffs, and then the away shirt. And again, I can't. Again, unfortunately it's another copper replica behind me on the door there. But the black and red away shirt, fighting shirt from the early 90s. I just black and red. It is a bit of an iconic away shirt. Again, it reminds you sort of those happier times, the early 90s. Winning the last old second division, getting into that first season, and all the Premiership as it was called then. And there's just something about it. And also being a husky gentleman, vertical stripes are slimming, so I always like putting that on. But there's so many. I particularly like. Again, for only the second season, and I did it last season as well. I actually bought home and away this season because I liked both of them. I'm not devastated that the Adidas deal has ended, but on the other hand, I quite like some of the Adidas shirts I've been anti it. And again, the white and black away shirt, I really like that one. And I played it safe, Harry. I went with Natasha Thomas on the back of my home shirt this season, so I did well there. It's interesting who to pick for next season's shirt, if indeed it's good enough to warrant being purchased. I lie, of course I'm going to get it. But
Harry, do you want to come in? I feel like you're buzzing to say
I
something.
don't know. I think, as you said, Ross, I'm going to have to take your advice and just take some time over it. It's got to be someone permanent. Burns is a safe shout, isn't it now? New contract. I don't think he's leaving unless he somehow comes on in the World Cup for Wales and scores against England and then gets nabbed away. I don't think it will happen, though. I loved Fridge. I loved Fridge before he got injured. Wolfie's obviously solid. Yeah, it's difficult not to go for your favourites. I wouldn't do Morsey just in case he runs away. I don't know. I have a long, hard think about it, and I'll definitely wait some period of time before buying it, probably a week.
I can't do Morsey because it's 55. It's not that I don't want to get Morsey in the back of my shirt.
Surely he's going to change that number. Surely, maybe he'll move to 5 or maybe 4 because that's Raheem Harper's number. But
yeah,
I think he's a 4 really, isn't he? Morsey, that's sort of his position. So
I don't really mind the bigger numbers really. I think my favourite number ever for Ipswich was 32, Shefty Coochie. So I quite like it when it's a little bit different. Switch up. 55 is a bit weird though, I guess.
Yeah, 55 is a big number for our captain as well, but we'll just see. That's another good, exciting down. Andy Warren's going to enjoy that, seeing the squad numbers released. He'll be all over that and deciding if, we done the right decision here. But there we go. Ben, over to you then, my friend. You've got 2 kits behind you, one from last season and then a very classic one with Matty Holland on the back. What is your favourite home and away?
Yeah, those are two of my favourites. Like Harry and Matt, we seem to have a lot of kits between us. I think Burns did get quite lucky. I went to Wimbledon, the second home game of the season, and he scored and won the penalty. And that's when I decided to get him on the back of my shirt. And obviously that ended up being a lucky or inspired decision. I was very proud of wearing that home games last year. The Matt Holland shirt is more, it's iconic. I just think, get Wembley 2000, like Matt said too, it is an absolute classic. I like the look of the shirt, nice and simple, really cool. But it's actually my 2 sort of more favourite design shirts are same as what Matt's got hung up. I've got this from when I was a kid. So that's when we beat, obviously, with Alex Matthew. And obviously we beat Norwich 5-0. So I remember getting this on the back. Don't know if you can see that. We ate Norwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, I was probably like 11 when I got that. I must have persuaded my dad to do it. He must have been embarrassed, cringeworthy. I used to wear it to derbies and get called a little W all the time by Norwich fans. I mean, they probably haven't got much more in their vocabulary than that sort of language anyway. So, but anyway, it was interesting. But my all-time favourite, reminds me of one of my all-time favourite players. I've only got the remake, unfortunately, but it's got to be the cream and black.
Yeah.
Just remember Kieran Dyer with his Adidas Predators. A particular memory that stands out. I think we scored in the last minute 2-2 against Huddersfield at the old, what's called the McAlpine at the time. And that's one of my sort of childhood memories. I remember when I heard that goal came on CFAX. Look it up, kids. When we saw that goal come through, I wasn't at the game. I remember just going absolutely loopy. And I think it was a really good finish. Just came in from the right and there, got it over the keeper. But yeah, one of those childhood memories that stuck with me. And it is a beautiful kit with obviously the Bury St Edmunds Abbott Ale sponsor, which famously they misspelt, didn't they? Bury St Edmunds in the original ones that were printed. So it's a little backstory as well. But that's probably my favourite of all time.
Probably my next replica to get that one. Actually, last time I was in the club shop, I had to remind myself that I was equidistant between paydays and I couldn't afford a replica shirt when I saw that one hanging up.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really well done one. The punch ones are a bit easier to do because they can put punch on them as opposed to like Harry's got the original Umbro Fison's shirt. We can't have, we didn't on the retro ones, couldn't have Umbro. So the punch ones that look even more like the originals. Yeah,
that's my next purchase for that as well, is that cream one, because it does look great. I think I was only 1 when we played in that. Sorry lads, sorry listeners out there. But
I was going to say, does Ross know what CFAX is, Ben, do you reckon?
Do you know what CFAX is, Ross?
Yeah, I do.
What number was football then, to look up the football?
I know it, but I don't know the number.
Was it 301?
I think it's 341.
341. I remember
301, but I'm pretty sure it's 341.
I remember the quiz, Bamboozle. Used to do that all the time. Bamboozle?
We'll be shouting at this podcast because we've got it wrong now.
Is it Bamboozle? I hope it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Bamboozle. That was we're completely going off topic, Ross, and I make no apologies for it. That was a family trick. That caused some sibling arguments in our household, I tell you.
You just have to wait for the scores to flick around on CFAX, didn't you? Wait for them to come.
It's so strange. You just have to wait for the page to flick over. Like, have we scored again? Like holding on for the next page. Saturday afternoon.
I feel we're slipping into the Yorkshireman sketch from Monty Python at this rate. Kids don't know about.
To be fair, we are lucky nowadays. Like now we've got quick access. We know when a goal is scored because it comes up. We get a notification on our phone or and stuff like that. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Back in the day, that's when football was football, weren't it? Where you didn't know anybody, scoring until you had to flick onto that, or you see it in the next newspaper or whatever. Or once again, it was only one game be played as well live on TV. But
little FM radio, one earbud in last day of the season, so you could listen to 5 Live and what was going on at the other grounds. So you knew you work it. You had to do all the maths in your head to work out where you were in the table.
If I'm away from the ground, I always just follow Stu's tweets. I always think they're the quickest. Usually seems to get them out quickest. I like to think that he, like Andy, like is a little physio for Stu, sort of helps him with some sort of finger movements before the game. Like, come on, Stu, flex those fingers, and then at the end he gets a little rub down of the fingers. Yeah. That's what goes on in my head anyway.
Yeah, I dread to think how many hours I've spent refreshing Stu or Andy's Twitter page constantly, especially when you're holding the lead as well. Horrible times.
I think Stu, has been covering town now for 10 years, and I'm sure he's seen a lot of change. Twitter, was a thing 10 years ago, but of course it's grown and grown, and it needs to be, every update needs to be there before you can put a few updates here and there. But fair play to Stu. I know he's part of King's Lane and stuff. Of course, they're always going to say good things about Stu, but he does do a great job with those tweets. I don't normally see it on pitch side and doing things, but when I do look back and go, wow, all those tweets he's done in the game, fair play to you.
Yeah, he's really good. And I think it says a lot about the last 10 years of Ipswich Town that I'm pretty sure Stu had hair when he started this job. So I think he could put a claim into Mark Ashton.
Yeah. Look at me before this, and now we've gone through a lot. He's gone through a lot of managers called Paul and all that sort of stuff. It's been
He might grow it back now, to be fair, under McKenna, if it's good. Who knows? We'll see.
You never know. We may send him to Turkey and get one of those, those jobs, hair jobs things, hair transplant.
I think that got mentioned after last week's five-a-side social. He didn't seem keen, if I recall.
No. Trip to Turkey's fine, but maybe not that. Just in case it goes horribly wrong. I don't know what will happen if it did go wrong. I don't know.
I think somebody said to him, "Are you going to do a Norwood?" Was how it was phrased.
Yeah. Norwood did that when he signed a big contract, so maybe Stu's got a big contract hopefully coming soon. We'll wait and see. Well, lads, it's been another fantastic fan social. Thanks for everyone for listening. Harry, over to you first, my friend. Thank you for making your debut. A very good debut, I have to add. Any other business?
No, not really for myself. I know that Ben, I think I'm just like you. I'm not really. I've tried to be interested in other sport, but I'm not. It's all football for me, and I find this part of the year, I wouldn't say deeply depressing, but it's upsetting that there's not much football on, especially with the World Cup being robbed. I just can't wait for next year. Just look forward to see the upcoming signings. The ones we've done already have been brilliant, especially Dominic Ball. Got a lot of QPR fans who have been saying that's a great signing for us. So yeah, just looking forward to see the squad getting together, and got to be promotion next year. I'm sure of it. So yeah, that's it.
Top man, and you mentioned Ball. We haven't plugged our sponsors just yet. So before I go over to Matt and Ben De'Ath or any other business from then, of course, support our sponsors at Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Use the code.
You're getting a landscaper in. You've got a problem.
Yeah, you have got a problem. But yeah. Use the code KOA to get 20% off and free delivery. Your Bulls, well, thank you. And Dominic Ball will be bossing that midfield with Sam Morsey and co. Matt, over to you there, my friend. It's been a pleasure as always. Looking forward to our five-a-side session this week. Any other business, my friend?
No, just a shout out to those in the KOA 5-a-side. We still need that 10th player Wednesday. But no, joking aside. No, it's been another great show. It's been really great to see Harry make his debut. Very impressive, and hope to see him back on the pod on a more regular basis. And I think making the point about we should be all sitting down and watching the World Cup at this point. So that might be another reason why I'm a little bit more excited about pre-season than usual, because it's not quite the same. I'm not looking forward to a Winter World Cup where I'm gonna have to be either indoors or wrapped up outside watching England play in the pub. So yeah. Bloody FIFA.
Can't get into that. But yeah, Harry, my people, you'll talk to your people, and I'm sure you'll make a return very soon. And over to the man that is Ben De'Ath. Another great show. Now a good outing from you, my friend. Any other business you want to add? And are we going to see you at five-a-side again soon?
I will definitely be at five-a-side next time I'm available. I'm busy this Wednesday. I'm fortunate enough to be a big cricket fan as well. So as I said, it's nice to take a break from football now and again. I'm going to Chelmsford to the T20 Blast on Friday. And I've got some tickets to Lords and all sorts of other bits and pieces for it, which come back. So keep myself busy, trying to keep my mind off it. Like if your girlfriend or wife goes away, you got to keep yourself busy, or you miss her too much. So that's my advice to all Town fans. Keep busy and the season will come round before we know it, and we can all get our teeth into these, hopefully, as Harry seems incredibly optimistic about a promotion season. I will keep that until judgment, until April. So yeah, great as always, Ross. Great to spend a bit of time with Harry and Matt, and good luck to the rest of the KOA posse playing 5-side tomorrow. And Manscaped must be getting huge off KOA Army, because they're on TV now as well. I see they've got TV adverts, so you're obviously doing a good job plugging their merch. Not really merch, is it? Their stock.
Yeah, ball shavers and all that, and I think there's like ball moisturizer as well and all that. But check it out. Yeah, so check it out. Manscaped.com. Use 20% at checkout, free delivery and all that sort of stuff. Plug them.
Speaking of being on TV, we had an advert on TV, didn't we? I don't know if that was nationwide, but it was certainly locally, and lots of people said it was on lots of different channels for the season tickets, which is nice to see. Yeah, there you go.
Bit of targeted advertising going on. I had
there you go.
A Spurs supporting friend of mine watching the golf on Sky Sports yesterday. Sent me a little video going, "Why am I seeing adverts for season tickets at One Road?"
That's good marketing from us, though. Like, being on TV, there's so many people already watching Sky Sports and watching all that sort of stuff. So, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000 season ticket holders, that would be great to see. Portman Road is going to be bouncing. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the pre-season. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Harry, Matt, Ben, thanks for joining me. And, of course, make sure to follow us on Kings of Anglia on all the Twitter, the Facebooks, the YouTube, Instagram, and all that sort of stuff. And look out for all the content that will bring you throughout the summer. I'll be back very soon. Bye-bye for now.